Hey guys, how you doing? I hope this helps you learn how to do it. You let me know if you have any issues with the video or issues whatsoever. Email me as soon as you can. In triangle DEF, if measure of angle T is 90, so I'm going to draw this triangle. DEF, measure of angle D is 90, so 90 degrees. DE congruent to DF. Okay, so it's an isosceles triangle. Then, look at that. Then is it an acute scaling? No, it's got two sides congruent. Is it so? It's an isosceles. It's one of those 90-degree angles. So let's see, right? Isosceles. ABC has triangles whose measurements are 110, 45, 25. Classify the triangle by its angles. None of the angles match. But that doesn't matter because we're classifying it by angles. So it's either acute, right, or obtuse. Well, there's one obtuse angle, so it's obtuse. Find the length of the sides of an equilateral triangle. PQR, if PQR, okay, it's an equilateral triangle. This is interesting. So PQR, that means all of the sides are equivalent. So PR is 2x plus 5. PQ is 5x minus 7. So if all the sides are equivalent, we're just going to say those two sides are equal. Find the length of the side. So if we solve this for x, then at least we get x, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to minus 2x. So I get 3x and then plus 7. So it's going to be 12. So x is 4. So we have x, but that's not the answer to our question. Our answer is the length of the sides of the equilateral triangle. So we need to take that and put it back into one of them and see what that measure actually is. So it's 20 minus 7, or 13. So the answer is C. Okay, then we go on the next one, find the measures of two angles of a triangle. Are 38 and 47. What is the measure of the third? Well, the three angles have to add up to 180 because the three interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 38, essentially, minus 47. And then we get 95, so that's our answer. Next. Okay, what was the sum of measures? Find the measure of x. So add these three up. X plus 112, 120. Adds it up. So 2x plus 120 is 180. So 2x is 60. So x is 30. So it's A, value of x. Find the sum of the measures of the acute angles of a right triangle. Well, right triangle, that's 90. So we have 90 left to split up between those two angles. So it's B. Next, identify the motion illustrated. Well, it's a reflection. It goes across that line, D. Name the image of ST. That where does XT go to? It goes to BC, so C. Name the angle that corresponds to A. So angle A is right there. Well, it flips over here. It's R, so it's A. Answer A. Name the angles. We were just supposed to see. Do we need that picture anymore? Nope. In triangle ITH, so I'm going to draw it. Congruent to triangle KLJ. H is congruent to that guy right there. Notice how they're written in the same spot too. In the congruent statement, that's a congruent statement. If it wasn't a congruent statement, that wouldn't hold true. Okay, I'm drawing in the triangles for that congruent statement. That one's congruent to, I'm going to draw them the same way. DEF, that means these two guys are the same, these two guys are the same, these two guys are the same. What must be true about C and F? C and F, well, okay, they have to be the same because of the congruent statement. Next, MON, draw it. MO 20, which is congruent to QP, by the way. MN is 32, which is congruent to PR. MN, PR, notice how they're written there. PR being 3x minus 10. Find the value of x. Well, those two guys are equal because they're congruent. 42 equals 3. X is, divide that by 3. That'd be 12. 14, silly, B14, so it's B. Next, XYZ, triangle XYZ, congruent to triangle RST. Okay guys, let's look at the next one. We have triangle XYZ and triangle RST. And we're going to say X is 25. Those are congruent, so these two are the same, those two are the same, these two are the same, and then the corresponding angles that are in the same position. Okay. Z is 65, S is 12, X plus 6. Okay, so this guy congruent to that angle, so we need to find that angle Y. So 180 minus 65 minus 25 is going to give us what angle Y is. That's 90. So we get 12x plus 6 equal to 90, and then we solve it. So 90 minus 6, then divide by 12, and you get x is 7. Value of x, D. Congruent statement, refer to the figure at the right. Write a congruent statement for the triangle ABC. ABC congruent to XYZ. Is that true? A is between 2 marks and 1 mark. X is between 2 marks and 3 marks. No, that. A, 2 and 1. Z, 3 and 1. No. A, 2 and 1. Y, 2 and 1. Okay. B, 2 and 3. X, 2 and 3. C, 2 and 3. Whoa, hold on. B is between 3 and 1. Right there? Yeah. B is between 3 and 1, and X is between 2 and 3. So that one's bad, so it's D. So why are these triangles in that congruent? Well, there's S, 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 side, 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 C. Triangle congruence cannot, the backward swearing cannot. Name the additional congruent parts needed so that the triangles are congruent by S, A, S. Well, right now we have an A, we have an S, A, and an S. But we want another A, so we need another S so that the A is stuck between. So it's this right here. So this part, and so that the A is stuck between. So this part. So GH and MN, GH and NN, C. Need the additional parts so that congruent by ASA. Same triangles. We're going by ASA now. ASA, A, S, A, S, and we want the A, S to be in the middle, so we're going to go down here and then over here, so F and T, so that S is included in those two angles, F and T, angle F and T. Congruent statement, well, P matches the R, so P and R have to be in the same spot. So, okay, this could be that, P and R in the same spot. Nope, P and R in the same spot. Nope, it's got to be the first one. Q and Q in the same spot. S and S the same. So they shows why are they congruent? Well, A, that's an angle, right? That's an angle pair. That's an angle pair. That's a side pair. Well, angle, side, D. Can be proven congruent by AAS if BAE, BCD, BD. And BE. Which triangles? So which triangles make up this angle? So on the left we'd get that. Okay, there's one of them. The other one, it's kind of hard to see. Is that one as they overlap. Okay, let's do this. So BDC, AEB, so it'd be A. Hold on, let's make sure. So if we do C and A need to match, B and B need to match, E and D need to match. Great. Okay, next. Reflect. So you guys wind up folding your paper. Okay, and you guys have a picture of what this is. I'm not going to do this. You guys fold your paper, you look through it, and you see the points. that are the same. All right, so let me skip this one. This one, when you guys do it, you're going to draw counterclockwise. So we're going to, you know what, I'm going to project that again for you guys, because I want that to be on there when we talk about it. Figure 75 degrees, so counterclockwise around P, so P is right there, counterclockwise is going to go this way. When you measure this, you measure this distance, you mark this distance, then you mark a 70, you mark the angle right there, which is a 75 degree angle. You mark a 75 degree angle right there, and then you measure this distance right here, remember, that distance, mark it there, transfer it. Okay, the same thing is true, we do B. Do B to P, mark this here, mark that distance, 70 degrees, boom. Okay, next. Scaling triangle is never isosceles. True, because scaling says no sides congruent. Isosceles is two sides congruent, so that can't be true. Isosceles triangle can be equilateral. Well, an isosceles triangle has three congruent sides, which means it also has two congruent sides. So it's true again. A scaling triangle is never right. Well, no, there's a right scaling triangle. True again, or false. There's a right scaling triangle. All equilateral triangles are acute. All equilateral triangles have 60-degree angles, and all three of those are acute. So yes, the triangle is acute. True. Find the measure of each variable. So this adds up. So these three add up to 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 95 minus 35. So 180 minus 95 minus 35, which is going to be 50. So x is going to be 50. On this guy, these add up to 180, so I'm going to do 180 minus 22, and that right there, that's a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that 180 minus 22 minus 90, 68. So y is going to be 68. Measure of the angles of a triangle are x, 2x, and 3x. Find the measures of each angle. Well, the three angles in a triangle add up to 180, so we're going to add those three and say they equal to 180. So that's 6x equals 180. That means x is going to equal to 30. So that means one of them is going to be 30, right? This guy, 2x, 2 times 30, which will be 60, and then the third, 3 times 30, which will be 90, all degrees. That's a reflection. 9 is shifted. It's just kind of shifted to the bottom right. That is a translation. Okay, for 9. Shifting is a translation. This guy is a rotation. The image of y, or zy, is going to rotate and be rs. Which angle corresponds to s? It came from this guy, y. So angle y. Okay, complete the congruent statement. Well, A is marked with one arc, so I'm going to look over here at the triangle with one arc is F. B is marked with 2 arcs, so I'm going to look over here, D. C is marked with 3 arcs, and look over here for E marked with 3 arcs. Same kind of progression here. K or J marked with 1 arc, N needs to be marked with 1 arc, and it is. K marked with 2 arcs. In the other triangle, the two arced. The angle with the 2 arcs is K, and then L having 2. Ooh, that's weird. Interesting. Well, K is congruent to itself, so L and M have to match. It's just interesting that they both have 2 arcs there. If triangle BCD congruent to triangle TWP, name the angle that corresponds to D. Well, D is listed third, so it'd be P. You could draw the triangles too, if you wanted. If it's a congruent statement, you know, the ordering matters, and that shows which vertices are going to be congruent to which vertices anyways. Additional parts, SSS, well, GH. It says